I think I made the biggest mistake of my life today. That's how Romeo's very first journal entry actually begins. And from that moment forward, nothing in his world will ever be the same. Welcome to the Wherefore Art Thou Journals. Before we dive in, if this is your first time here, welcome to the world of Romeo and Julian. Be sure to subscribe to the channel here at Imagination Studios to learn more about this book series. Every Thursday, I'll be sharing readings from the private journals of two young men whose story was never meant to be told. These are the words that shaped everything, raw, vulnerable, and painfully honest. Romeo and Julian's story is a modern reimagining of a classic tale you know, but with a twist. It's about two men discovering love, friendship, and themselves in a world that doesn't make it easy. Their families run rival construction firms, competing on the same project, locked in a silent war of pride and pressure. But even in the middle of that chaos, fate has a way of pulling hearts together along with an unexpected ally to help guide them through the chaos. Each week, I'll be reading selected passages, just fragments of their entries, to bring you into their world. Not everything will be read aloud. Some pages you'll have to imagine for yourself. If you followed their story in the shorts, you already know small moments, but this is where we slow down and feel the heartbeat of it. And it all begins with Romeo. What you're about to hear is just the beginning of Romeo's very first entry, the moment everything started to shift. Friday, November 11th, 2022, 8:47 p.m. Entry by Romeo. I think I made the biggest mistake of my life today. I don't even know how I got it so wrong. I thought Bali was interested in me, so I went for it and kissed him. What was I thinking? I was so embarrassed that I didn't know what to say. As soon as my lips touched his, he pulled back, gently placing his hand on my chest to push me away. It wasn't harsh, but still I wanted to disappear. Bali is my best friend at school. Really, one of my only friends. He moved here a couple years ago. I remember the first time I noticed him. He was dressed differently. And though he'd been at our school longer, it wasn't actually the first time I saw him. He was walking through the cafeteria, trying to find a seat, but students laughed at him and blocked spots. It all happened so fast and I felt awful. Then he looked my way, so I waved him over. Bali sat down with me, and I introduced myself. The first words out of his mouth, spoken in a gentle accent, were thank you. Fast forward a few years, and now I think I might have ruined our friendship. I remember when Bali found out I'm gay. I was terrified he'd turn his back on me, but instead he hugged me and said it was okay. That's when I started wondering if he was interested in me. He touched my arm or shoulder when we laughed. We became close, but he only came to my house a few times and I never visited his. My mom liked him, but whenever I mentioned going to his, he'd find an excuse. That set off my radar, but turns out it was broken. Here's what happened. It was lunchtime and the weather was nice, so we decided to sit outside to eat. I'd been working on a drawing of Bali off and on for a few weeks. He'd seen a lot of my work over the years, but only once it's finished. I don't like showing works in progress. I'd finally completed this one and showed it to him. He was blown away, placing his hand on mine as he admired it. That was the moment. I looked up at him while he was staring at the drawing. The wave of emotion hit me, and when he looked up, I leaned in and kissed him. The second my lips touched his, he gently pushed me away. I was mortified. I apologized over and over, but I couldn't calm down. He tried to get me to, but it was no use. I quickly handed him the drawing, got up, and walked away. I found the nearest bathroom and locked myself in a stall and cried. I'm pretty sure I've ruined our friendship. I'm too embarrassed to even talk to him. He texted me a couple of times since I got home, but I can't bring myself to respond. The only silver lining is that we don't have any classes together this term, so it'll be easy to avoid him. We usually meet up before school, at lunch, or after school. When the bell rang today, I booked it out of there. Bali usually takes the bus unless we walk part of the way home together, which we usually do on Fridays. I just hope he wasn't waiting for me. I couldn't bring myself to walk with him or even text him. I wanted to tell my mom what happened as soon as I got home, but my dad was home early today. He's been working on a new building project and always comes home grumpy on Fridays. He's working with a company he can't stand, and they're constantly arguing. The project is for my friend Marcos's uncle, and I've seen the plans. It'll be beautiful once it's finished. My dad got the job because we've known Marcos's family for years. They brought his company on board since the project was too big for one, each building a tower, connected by a 5-level structure. Anyway, I couldn't talk to Mom because Dad was in a mood, so journaling seemed like the next best thing. Mom got me into journaling to help get things out when I didn't want to or couldn't talk about them. It's been a while since I've done it. I've been stressed and hiding out in my room since I got home. I know Mom knows something is up, but she also knows I'll eventually come to her. I plan to, once Dad isn't around. He's not as open as Mom, and still doesn't know that I'm gay. I imagine he suspects something, since I've never had a girlfriend, but he always gives people the line, Romeo is too focused on his art, as a way of deflecting. Oh God, Ben is downstairs. Why today? I completely forgot he wanted to hang out tonight and was planning to crash here. I don't need this right now. I just want to be by myself, but I know if I cancel while he's already downstairs, he's going to pepper me with questions. Ben doesn't actually know I'm gay. I'm not really sure how he'd handle it. Marcos was the first person I told, and he was pretty cool with it. Never treated me any differently. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. Marcos is so laid back. I just really need to talk to Mom and get some advice on how to handle this whole Bali situation. I don't think I'm going to be able to bring myself to speak to him. Okay, I need to go downstairs in a few minutes, so I better get my shit together, hide this notebook somewhere, and go see Ben. Time to put on a happy face. Mom's going to see right through it. I can't hide anything from her. That's where Romeo's story truly began. Not with falling in love, but with a mistake. A single moment he couldn't take back, at least in his mind. He thought his best friend Bali was interested, but he was wrong. That kiss, it changed everything. What followed wasn't rejection, it was silence. Not because Bali disappeared, but because Romeo did. Bali tried to reach out, to talk, to understand what happened, but Romeo couldn't face him. He froze, trapped between guilt and fear, replaying every second of that moment over and over. That's where his journey begins, with a mistake, a silence, and things get more interesting as this first entry continues. If you've ever been too afraid to face someone you care about after crossing a line, you'll understand what Romeo's feeling here. Tell me in the comments what part of this entry hit you the hardest, and make sure you're here next Thursday, because next time, we'll hear from Julian. His second entry offers a glimpse into his world well before their paths even cross. Tune into Monday's short. That will set up a quick preview, and don't forget to like and subscribe. You can order a copy of Volume 1 through the links in the description or over at romeoandjulian.com. Welcome to the Wherefore Art Thou Journals, and I will see you again real soon.